what a week. President was, he's making the rounds on these rallies, and he's having a field day, making fun of, as he calls him, Mini Mike, Mike Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, who obviously had a disastrous debate appearance the other night. I want to bring Lara Trump into this because I'm gonna play this for her as I welcome her to our guest line. Lara Trump, advisor President Trump, is married to Eric Trump, with whom they have two beautiful children. And it's great to welcome you back to the Mike Gallagher Show, Laura. How have you been?
Well, thank you so much, Mike. Always great to be with you. I've been doing great because, as you just mentioned, we're winning so much as a country. Our president's doing awesome, and the Democrats are melting down. So how much better could we get?
It's a good day. It's a good week. It's been a good month. It's been a great year. I got to play this clip for you. If you don't mind me asking you about Mayor Bloomberg having such a rough night the other night. And yesterday, he said something that I thought was so profound. It's as if he's acknowledging that your father in law just keeps winning, just like you just said. And I agreed. Here was Mike Bloomberg, who desperately wants to beat your father in law and wants to be the next president. I want you to hear Mike Bloomberg yesterday, cut 16, courtesy of Grabian.
Look, the real winner in the debate last night was Donald Trump. Because I worry that we may very well be on the way to nominating somebody who cannot win in November. And if we choose a candidate who appeals to a small base like Senator Sanders, it will be a fatal error.
Wow. So if he's saying on that stage full of 6 Democrat candidates that President Trump was the winner, he obviously doesn't think much of not only his own performance, but of anybody in the Democratic field.
Well, I have to say, I totally agree with him there. I think Donald Trump was the winner. Quite frankly, it's as if the Democrats finally came to life on the stage. Unfortunately, they didn't talk about anything that the American people even care about. They were talking about non-disclosure agreements, how many houses Bernie Sanders has. I mean, this is not what gets you elected to run this country. The people of the United States resoundingly voted for Donald Trump in 2016 because he talked about the things he wanted to do to make this country better for every single American. You didn't hear that from a single person on that stage. In fact, it's a bashing one another and the president. That's really all you heard there the other night. So, I mean, for all of them, they could probably take a page from Donald Trump. They won't because they're so obsessed with, the minutia that they get into and the virtue signaling and the identity politics they're all obsessed with that they have to bash each other on so that they can be the most righteous and most woke to win. But listen, I think it looks great for Donald Trump. And I've always said, Mike, it doesn't matter who the candidate is that they nominate on the Democrat side. When you look at the actual results and people feel them, even if they don't talk about it with anyone, they feel the results of this president and they feel how great he's been for this country. I think on November 3rd this year, they're going to go in and they're going to vote for Donald Trump.
It's just hard to shake the realization that paychecks don't lie. People are making more money than they've ever made. Unemployment levels are at record historic lows for minority communities. I mean, you say it over and over again, but this is data. This is an opinion, and we're not stating opinions. We're stating facts. Incidentally, when you talked about the things you heard on the Democrat debate the other night, don't forget the stents. I got 2 stents. How many stents do you have? I got 2 stents. Oh, I got 2 too. I had a heart attack. 25 years. I mean, holy cow. Because Donald Trump is a force of nature. This man, I hear from people who are on the White House staff who are 1/3 his age, and they're exhausted. They just they can't keep up with him. I mean, what's the secret? What is the mystery behind his stamina, his inability to keep going and go? He's up tweeting at 5 a.m. and he's flying around on Air Force One at midnight coming back. How does he do it, Laura?
He's amazing. I'd like to tell you that it's coffee, but he doesn't drink coffee. I don't even think he's ever had a single cup of coffee in his entire life, which is sort of shocking. It's true,
Right.
but we all said it in 2016. I mean, he was outworking our staffers who were a quarter of his age that we would have all across the country working overtime. It was amazing to see. But I think at the base of it, people have to understand who Donald Trump is. And the reality is he didn't need to do this job. He was born a fighter. He's from Queens. People often forget that. So they think that they're going to fight against Donald Trump and he's going to wither like a little flower. No way. He fights back, and it's actually to the benefit of the American people. But he took this job on because I think he truly knew that he was probably the last resort for this country, the last person that could do the job that needed to be done, that wasn't worried about this as a career for themselves, to make money, to build up their name. I mean, Donald Trump has been Donald Trump forever. We've all known who he is. He did this, and he knew that he was going to get hit every single day from those on the left and those in the media and Hollywood, and he said, I'm going to do it anyway because I know what needs to be done to fix this country. And look where we are today. It's sort of amazing. So I know that that drives him every single day. He knows that 8 years hopefully is not a long time to really make permanent changes in this country, but he's working so hard every single day to do as much as he can.
Right, it's 4 more years, that's for sure. Laura
That's
Trump is our
right.
guest. Senior advisor to President Donald Trump, of course, the president's daughter-in-law. I want to bounce something off you that hit me last night in watching Don Jr. on TV. He was on with Sean Hannity, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. This guy's good. Don Jr. is really on point. He's a rock solid conservative. He, of course, has his father's passion and patriotism. Is it crazy to think of Don Jr. as the 46th president of the United States?
I mean, listen, people would have said it's crazy to think of Donald Trump as the 45th president of the United
True,
States not too many years ago, Mike. So, listen,
true.
anything's possible. I think that what we've all learned in this process is, and we've all been hit. None of us as hard as the president, of course, but they've attacked all of us. They've come after all of us. And whenever you get out there in this country and you talk to real people, which is what all of us have the incredible opportunity to do every single day, campaigning across this country for the president, you start to realize what the things are that really ultimately matter and make differences to people. And to do things that help feels great. So, I mean, we all love the fact that we are able to support a president who's making changes that are positively impacting people every day. And we'd love to see it going. I would say you can't rule anything out, but I have not heard a commitment from Don to run for office yet. So we'll have to wait on that.
A lot of people are responding very favorably to that. I've been talking about it a lot today. But Laura, I want to ask you about a negative. If there's one consistent negative criticism there is, from my listeners, they'll say they're kind of reflecting what Bill Barr said a week or two ago. Gosh, I wish he wouldn't tweet so much. Bill Barr said that the tweets make his job impossible. There have been rumors that Barr wants to resign. I don't believe him. I think he's a good and decent man. I think President Trump has Barr's back and said the other day at that press conference, hey, yeah, my tweets probably do make his job tough, but here's why I do it. I know the answer to the tweets. I don't think there's any question that the president uses Twitter as a direct platform to go to the American people without having to worry about his comments being distorted or warped or twisted by the news media. But to those who say, should Donald Trump tweet less, make Bill Barr's life a little bit easier, maybe not cause some of the headaches that are caused by some of the tweets. What do you say to people who bring that up?
Well, and people do bring it up, and I totally get it. I understand that not everyone loves every single tweet or the way the president delivers a message every single time. But what you said is so important, because think about being the leader of the free world and having the news media every time you say something twist it, take it out of context, distort the message. Twitter really is his only medium to go straight to the American people, say what he wants to say. And listen, it's his First Amendment right. You don't lose your rights, your constitutional freedoms and your rights whenever you become president. And I know it's unorthodox. It's not something that most presidents have done before, or I don't know if they'll do in the future, but it's his way of expressing himself to the American people and going direct. And if there's one positive out of that, you never have to wonder what Donald Trump is thinking. He's incredibly transparent. There's nothing behind the scenes because he's laying it all out there for you. And I think, ultimately, although some people don't love them, the tweets and everything else, I think whenever they take a look at their lives and they reflect on the fact that they're so much better off now than they were before Donald Trump took office, and you contrast that with what socialism, which is what the front runner for the Democrat Party is running on, what that would do to this country, a total about face, a 180-degree change in everything that we've seen, all the positive stuff we've seen under President Donald Trump. It would make this country unrecognizable as America, bankrupt our country, be so bad for us. When you compare those things and people are in a voting booth on November 3rd, I really have to believe, even though they don't like the tweets, they know that this is the right guy for the job and they're going to vote for Donald Trump.
It would be literally catastrophic to have anybody on that Democrat stage the other night become commander in chief. I don't even like to think about it. That's why we have to keep fighting the good fight every single day from now till November the 3rd. I just have to say that as we watch this comparison of the president, his confidence, his optimism, it's amazing to compare these guys barking at each other and trying to eviscerate each other. Laura, I think it's very fair to say that the Democrats know that the Democrats are in a world of hurt right now. They have to be acknowledging that. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
we can't afford to be complacent. We got to keep fighting.
No, listen, I grew up playing sports, and you play every single second of the game until the game is over, and that is exactly why, despite the fact that we feel very confident about the president's chances, especially when you look at what's going on the Democrat side, we never want to leave anything to chance. If you voted for Donald Trump in 2016, you got to get out and vote for him. Tell all your friends and family. Nothing is more important than this election, especially when you see that you have a socialist at the top of the ticket for the Democrats. We cannot leave anything to chance, and that's why we're all out fighting every day for this president.
Laura Trump, we're honored to have you on the show. Thank you for taking time out of what I know it must be a crazy, crazy schedule for you. Keep fighting the good fight and keep us posted because we got to win in November. We're doing all we can to help.
You got it. Thank you.